So tonight is a special night, and let's find our chairs, guys, please. Crutches and all. So tonight, your full attention. We're going to have a really special night. Let's give them a celebrate welcome as we have a special guest emceeing tonight. And you've met her before. She's led before, but she happens to be a mom, a wife, a really good one, a leader, a singer, and a full-time job mom. So I'd like you to give a huge Celebrate Youth welcome to Yvette.
Hello, how are you? I am doing very well, thank you for asking. Who is excited about summer? Awesome. So tonight we're going to talk about summer, and I'm going to welcome our panel. You guys can have a seat. So we have Miles, have Jessica, have Shelly, Lily, Eric, and Layla. There you go. So to kick things off, we are going to have a trivia game. So we are going to divide you guys into 3 groups. So you will be with your mom, and Shelly and Miles, and Eric and Sheila. And Layla. Layla, sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry. All right. Are you guys ready? Or do you want to sit by your mom? Then you guys can switch again, maybe. Okay. All right. Okay, first question. About how many teenagers have a job during summertime? So you have some options on the board there. Oh, I do have to read them. Okay. 10 million, 20 million, 2 million, or 6 million? In the U.S. Yeah. How many teenagers have a job during summer months? 10, 20, 2, or 6 million? 20. Okay, Shelly said 20. 6? 20. Okay. The answer is 6. All right. Okay, so you guys keep track of the score, so you guys have fun. Second question. What was the minimum wage in the 80s? Yeah, I know. This was such a long time ago. $5, $1.50, $3.10, or $8? $5, $1.50, $3.10, or $8? What's your answer?
$3.10.
$3.10.
$5.
$5.
$3.10.
$3.10. And the answer is $3.10. So, all right. Okay, third question. What is the current minimum wage in South Dakota? $12, $11.50, $13.10, or $18? $12, $11.50, $13.10, or $18? Okay.
11 and a half.
11.5. That's the right answer. 11.5. So we all have the same amount of points. Okay, summer is a peak season for amusement parks. Where was America's first roller coaster built? Cleveland, Detroit, New York, or Seattle? Cleveland, Detroit, New York, or Seattle? Okay, you ready? Seattle? Seattle, okay. Okay. Unfortunately, no. It was New York. Okay. Okay. So when the weather warms up, it's time to have a cookout. How many hot dogs do Americans eat each year? So 2 million, 20 million, 2 billion. And then the last one. Or 20 billion. So you have 2 million, 20 million, 2 billion, or 20 billion. Okay, you ready? You have your answer? Okay, Liliana. $20 million? $20 billion. That's what we kind of have in mind. So I'll keep going. Okay, so you guys have 2 points, 2 and 2, right? Okay. All right. Fireworks have been a part of every July 4th. So which country is considered the birthplace of fireworks? Italy, China, Japan, or Greece? Okay, are we ready? Shelley? China, okay. China? China. China is the place. All right. All right, so summertime is also state fair season. Which state is the largest in the U.S.? Which state has the largest fair in the U.S.? Minnesota, Iowa State Fair, Wisconsin, or Texas? Leila and Eric, what's your answer? Texas? Okay. Texas? Minnesota? Unfortunately, Shelley, it's Texas. Someone said everything is big in Texas. All right. Next question. Watermelon is a popular summertime treat. About what percentage of watermelon is water? 90%, 80%, 75%, or 50%? $90? $90. You are correct, about 92% is water. Are you guys keeping track of score? Where are we so far? 5-5-4. Okay. Summer is a great time to hit the beach. Which state is known as the Ocean State? Florida, New Jersey, California, or Rhode Island? Florida, New Jersey, California, or Rhode Island? You ready to go? Okay. Rhode Island? Florida? Okay. The answer is Rhode Island. 2 more questions. No pressure. Yeah. 2 more questions. No, 3 more questions actually. Drive-in movies were popular summer pastime in the 50s and 60s. When did the first drive-in movie theater open in the US? 1900s, 1920s, 1930s, or 1950s? I know. Drive-in movies. Shelley, you better listen to your husband back there. What? 1900, 1920s, 1930s, or 1950s? 30s, 30s, 20s, 30s. Awesome. Which of the following is not celebrated during the summertime? National Barbecue Month, National Blueberry Month, National Ice Cream Month, or National Watermelon Month? Which one is not celebrated in the summer? National Barbecue Month, National Blueberry Month, National Ice Cream Month, and National Watermelon Month. Which one? Blueberry? Ice cream, okay. Blueberry, okay. This is the answer. May is National Barbecue Month. So July is National Blueberry, Ice Cream, and Watermelon Month. I know, I was surprised. So, okay, last question. This is it. Which holiday is considered the unofficial end of summer in the US? Flag Day, Memorial Day, Labor Day, or Veteran Day? Labor Day, Labor Day, Labor Day. It is Labor Day. Good job. Awesome. So, Chris, where are we?
Got a winner?
So, you guys are the winner. And awesome. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being such wonderful players. That's your family. So tonight we're going to talk about summer. It is a very good time where kids are relaxed, where kids have other things than school to worry about. And it also comes with a lot of free time. So our first question for the panel is, before we start, I will just quickly give you the microphone, introduce yourself, and say what's your favorite thing to do during summertime. What do you like to do during summer?
My name is Layla Van Blaricom, and I like to just hang outside, go to the pool with friends and family during summertime.
Hello, I'm Eric Rice. What do I like to do in the summer? I like to hike.
My name is Liliana Van Blaricom, and my favorite thing to do during the summer is probably church camp.
My name is Jessica, and I like to travel, but if I can't travel, then just bonfires, hang out with family.
My name is Shelly Gaddis, and my favorite thing to do in summer is eat s'mores.
My name is Miles Copeland. My favorite thing to probably do is boat days. Just being out at Yankton, enjoying the time. Yeah. But that could possibly change. I'm going to church camp. Yeah, I'm going to church camp. There you go. So we're going to be doing that. Yeah.
Awesome. So the first question is to know, how do you prepare for summer? Miles, you have the microphone. No pressure.
So prepping for summer, I'm trying to think. On the road to summer, it's definitely going to be a lot of finals. I know almost all of you guys go to school. I go to college at Southeast Tech, so I'm just kind of thinking of final exams and stuff like that. But to prepare, honestly, it's just having those conversations with your friends, just thinking about what you're going to do, getting that vacation ready, getting those plans ready, and that's how I just prep for summer. I want to say summer planning probably starts now, I guess, as it starts to ramp up, or next month or anything like that. So, yeah, just get ready for it.
Summer planning in our house usually has to do more with schedules, trying to coordinate schedules, days off, time, like vacation time. From a parenting standpoint, one of the things that we figure out is who is going to be home at what times, and figuring out like meals and having all of that written out so that everybody can share the responsibilities in the house throughout the summer, because days get busy, and that's a big piece for us that everybody in the house has learned to help with.
Well, I can't really say that I have a big schedule to go by. The girls are at the point where they're kind of just doing their own thing, and we work. But if I had to do anything at all, it would just maybe hopefully get a vacation planned, because like I said, I like to travel. Get a vacation planned, and then just get the girls ready for different schedules and for work, which I know we'll talk about, so I won't go too much into that, but that's pretty much it.
For me, it would be just like getting things to like do during the summer, and then, like Miles said, making sure I'm passing like my junior year this year. So yeah.
Strange question. I guess I'm at kind of the end of the planning summer things, with the last kid flying the nest here soon. When do you start planning for summer? Oh gosh. For me, it starts on December 26th. That's the day my boss puts the calendar up on the wall and says, make your vacation needs known. So I think flexibility. I don't really have a how do you plan for it, but stay flexible into those summer vacations and all those things, because it changes fast.
I would say just like planning my schedule, kind of what I'm going to do, figuring out if I'm going on vacations, my work days, stuff like that, and passing my classes and making sure I'm ending on a good year.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing is a lot of planning, a lot of looking ahead to see where, if you have kids, where they are, what they're doing, and how to help each other. So I know we have some junior and seniors on the panel. So for you, looking toward college, what has been your journey or your path to graduation and beyond?
Well, I'm just a junior, but I am still undecided, actually. I'm just hopping between kind of things, job shadowing and keeping some opportunities open, but not choosing automatically, because I still have my full senior year ahead of me. So, yeah.
So what about you? Okay. She's just a sophomore.
I mean, I could, but
No, that's okay. And Miles, for you, what did that look like? Your road to graduation?
I think for me, and especially, being a junior, senior, even a sophomore, or, even my freshman guys, trying to figure out what you're passionate for, or trying to figure out what you want to do for college is always like a huge topic. And, being a freshman in college, you start to realize that a lot of my peers still don't know what they want to do. And they'll still go to college and they'll still get general degrees because they're still trying to figure that out. But honestly, what helped me a lot with getting into finance and to really figuring out what I'm passionate for is that while all of you guys are still in high school, try everything you possibly can when it comes to hobbies or anything like that, when it comes to sports, when it comes to activities, clubs, passion, if you want to start streaming or if you want to start YouTube, anything like that, or a business or side hustles, anything, just do it. Because this is when you're completely allowed to fail, and that's such a blessing. So just try as much as you possibly can, and then that's, kind of how I found out I was passionate for finance. So, yeah.
Excellent. So what I'm hearing you say is try and see what you like. So, and I know there are quite a few businesses allowing students to have internship. Shelley, can you speak to that, how the kids could expose themselves to the multitude of things that are out there and how to apply for those opportunities?
So a lot of that comes down to being willing to put yourself out there in situations. So sometimes it's having conversations maybe with your youth leader or with your parents. I think a lot of those opportunities for our children have come by connections that people that they have built relationships with were willing to speak for them to other people. So maybe it was myself speaking for them, or their dad, or their youth leader, or even pastors here at the church, because they've taken the time to show themselves as somebody who is trustworthy, as somebody who is respectful. And those are the opportunities that when people who are in the workplace, who are out and see those things, they're going to be willing to speak up and say, hey, I think I might know somebody who could be a fit for this. Same thing with your teachers at school, same thing with counselors or those kinds of things, and just letting them know, hey, I'm looking for opportunities. I think this might be something I'm interested in. If you get into a class at school that you're like, it kind of piques your interest, let your teacher know that. Let your school counselor know that. Let your parents know that, so that they can try to help you make some of those connections.
Jessica, anything you would like to add?
Kind of just like what Miles said, to not be afraid to keep trying different things, because like Lily said, she still not 100% what she wants to do, but she has had many things. It's changed quite a bit, actually. But we were kind of really hard on her for a while there. We still push her, but I feel like that letting her try all these different things, doing exploration days and talking to people about follow-alongs and ride-alongs and everything, I kind of had to realize that not everybody has to have everything figured out when they're 18, but as parents, we want them to have their goals and have things to keep pushing towards, and just have the best for them. But I had to kind of realize, our Father, we pray, He guides us. We don't have all the answers, and we can't expect them to have all the answers either. So, yeah, just keep trying different things, and eventually pray about it enough, and it will come.
And I will say, though, that there are many businesses looking for children to come and do internship. And that is a fantastic thing to have on your resume once you're older. And that's what employers like to see. What have you exposed yourself to? So wonderful. So, Eric, I'm going to come to you and say, in your household, was summer job a requirement for your children?
No. I guess we always start on this idea that their primary job is to be a student. Get through school. Those things lead up to your future. They build on your future. So no, they weren't required. Encouraged, sure, but didn't require that. If I actually kind of want to underline a couple of the statements I've been kind of going around. There's some actually really solid research out there about persons or kids that go into college that have their planned course, their degree, and they stay with it all the way through, versus those that change their major once or twice. They're out there. And they suggest that those kids that change their major once or twice tend to be more satisfied and resilient into their work life and such like that. So my encouragement is absolutely have a great plan out there, but be open to changing and moving around on that. Don't get stuck in a rut necessarily, but find that place to maneuver on there. There's a lot of research behind that.
As a parent, I will say sometimes it's kind of heavy on the pocket, don't you think?
College is big money business, yes.
So, anything any of you have learned to do or not do that you're willing to share now that some of you, I know Shelley, you do have kids who are done with college, and some things have been done fantastically well. And would you like to share some things that didn't go as planned, maybe? Not just you, Shelley, I just called you, but anybody else? Oh, Eric, I think you have the microphone in your hand.
I do have a microphone in my hand.
No pressure.
Boy, how far can we get into this conversation? Things that I wished I would have learned. Is that something like that?
Yes.
Don't do this. Okay, yeah.
You
Well,
as
this
a
is a life
parent
lesson.
having to do with kids. No, and that's fine. You having to do with the kids summertime, guiding them through things that you've learned, things that have worked quite well, things that didn't work out.
Don't make the minors major, and don't make the majors minors. Keep the right thing the right thing. Don't get caught up in the little details. Make those huge escalation things like that. Sorry, blast my arrow. Don't make the minors major, and don't make the majors minors. Keep the eye on the prize. Ephesians 6. It says that children, honor your parents. For this is the first of the commandments that has a promise, that you do this and you will live long and prosper. But sorry. God, no Trek references here. Man, that one fell flat. I was hoping, yeah. Live long and prosper. Sorry. No. Yeah, I'm sorry. But it follows up on this. Children, honor your parents. So this is the first of the commandments of the promise. My background field, my training is in marriage and family therapy, and so many of those root conversations really do come down to how can we honor our parents? They are the ones who gave us life. Start there and build on that conversation. They give us great opportunities. We launch from there. But then it follows up with this, and this is for the parents, specifically the fathers. It says, do not drive your children to exasperation. Tie that back into, don't make the major things minor things, don't make minor things major. The idea to not get caught into this process of, in my field we call it symmetrical escalations, right? Somebody says something more aggressive, and then it just keeps going. Find a common place, find a safe place to bring up one topic, talk it through, go out and have some fun on the grass, come back and talk about a topic. Keep it simple. Keep it simply structured, right? I'm babbling here for a second, but honor our parents. Don't drive each other exasperation.
Anybody would like to add to what Eric said? We agree with him. Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things realizing and kind of graduating high school is that a lot of the relationships, like friendships or enemies you have in high school, or anything that's just any relationship you really have in high school, has a way different dynamic when you meet someone in real life after you graduate. So there'll be people that you have like bad blood with, or enemies, or things that went south, but when you meet them outside of high school or you meet them after you graduate, it's a completely different perspective. And I think it really goes on to show that high school feels like, well, pretty much is your entire life now, but once your perspective is pulled out of it, it gives you a fresh start with almost everyone you knew, and really goes into like Christ's forgiveness on that. And I really want to go into just, forgiving everyone for, say, what they did in high school or anything as a children, anything like that. Graduating high school is such a good start to just give everyone that you previously knew or currently know just a fresh start on that, and goes into like Christ's forgiveness and stuff like that. And that's a perspective I never thought I'd had until I meet people after graduating high school. It's just so different. So, yeah.
Wow, that's excellent. So we also do notice that during summertime, some kids will take a break from their church family and give priority to other things. So, Liliana, can you, she starts smiling, can you encourage those who are here to stay plugged in and to continue to grow with the Lord over summertime?
Yeah, so being honest, I don't really have friends outside of my church friends. I'm kind of to myself. So yeah, I think my church friends, my church community is a lot more healthier to be around personally, just because like people outside of my church family are not people who encourage me to be like Jesus, walk his walk. And I know like my friends here, that's exactly what they do, and they push me towards him and not pull me away from him. And I know that if I ever have like a problem or something like that, like I know automatically I can go to my church friends or my church community, my leaders, or even my parents. But it's like, yeah, so.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Leila, would you like to add to what?
I'm sorry, can you restate the question?
Summertime tends to be a time when kids will pull away from church and give the priority to other things. What do you think, or how do you manage that time? Will you encourage them to stay plugged in?
I definitely encourage kids to definitely, and just parents, everyone in general, to definitely stay plugged into the church, because obviously throughout the summer we get super busy with work and trying to be with friends and family and take that time out of school to really spend time with other people. But you have to realize that if you stray away from God, then everything in your life will feel like it's starting to fall down. And it's like, sometimes it can be hard to manage that with maybe you're tired or you don't want to, but it's like, it's the simple things like going to church camp, I feel like is a big step in keeping your love with God, and going to stuff like Z8 nights and Life Flight, stuff like that. It really helps you stay connected to God, and just being around people who push you closer to him instead of being around those friends who try to drag you to parties or doing bad things. Just keep around your church family and your own family, and they will always push you to the right ways.
Awesome. Stats show that during summertime, people spend more time on their screen. And I know for parents that's a challenge. So I would like for parents on the panel, and we'll come back to the kids, what have you done to either monitor, limit, or encourage the kids to unplug?
I don't know if I'm the best. I'm working on it. I can't say that it's just my kids. I am on my phone quite a bit. And so that's something that we had talked about working this summer for, because I will be honest, I have to make myself put it down, and then I see them in the kitchen where I'm in the recliner on my phone. They're in the kitchen making pizza rolls. They're on their phone, and I'm like, I look up and they're just laughing at God only knows what. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then then what do they say? Well, you're on your phone. Okay, touche. So I may not be the best person. We are working on it together. But I'm sure someone else here can give you a better answer than that.
Well, thank you for your honesty.
No
Yeah.
problem.
I
saw my husband doing this.
He's like, you are throwing me under the bus. I mean, I think some of it is simplicity, right? So like there's certain boundaries, not only during the summer, but summer is a good time to set the routines for some of those that get put in place. Like one of the practical things that I'm sure the kids aren't gonna love that I throw out there, but parents may appreciate this. We've always had phone curfews, and the phone curfews are in our room. So it's one of those things of, I got in trouble once as a kid and was told that nothing good happens after 10 p.m. at night. As an adult, absolutely true. And so it's one of those things that for us, we have instituted age boundaries as far as any sort of screen. So whether that's phones, whether that's a TV remote, whether that's a laptop, they are all in our room and plugged in by, for the most part, until they got to be like seniors in high school, it was 9 o'clock at night. So it allowed for them to have that like detox time in their brain. Now, we have allowed some like watch TV to fall asleep or have a, something on, but it was, again, you can turn this thing on, but the remote's coming in our room because you're not going to sit and like scroll through it. Now, as they've gotten older, they have earned some of those privileges as we trusted that they weren't up all night or whatever, but remote controls, all of that kind of stuff. Monitoring, that has helped us a lot during the summer months, like having monitoring devices on Corey and I's phone and regularly sitting down with the kids and reviewing it with them so that we can have the conversations that lead into that. That's not really necessarily a summer thing, but it's very easy when there's a lot more alone time during the summer for those kinds of things to pretty easily spiral. And so in summer, it's a good time to set some of those boundaries and really work out the kinks in them when life doesn't feel so busy and overwhelming. An example of what? I mean, like through the church, like we've used like Covenant Eyes. There's a couple other apps that we have downloaded over the years for the kids, but to be perfectly honest, like most of it just came down to having passwords ourselves and getting them. Like, again, my kids are probably not going to love that I say this, but in order for one of our children to have their first social media, it's also installed on my device, and I get the exact same notifications that they get. So I can go into it at any point, full access, and I can see what they are sending. So for us, it's less about a monitoring device to send me notifications. We have used those, but it's been way more effective for the surprise checks and for in the immediate for us to be active and involved in making sure that we could see what was actually happening in the moment. So
just to kind of follow up on her. So I do check phones. It irritates them, but I go in at any random time and just check their phone. I am on their phone a lot. I do check that. I thought you were kind of just talking about screen time in general. But yeah, so they do get monitored. I mean, at nighttime, they used to have to turn their phones off at a certain time of night. As they got older and the trust build, when they go to sleep, their bedtime, and then if I walk in there and they're on their phone, then they just get taken. But again, with the social media, I have them on my phone too, so we monitor those. And yeah, so we do checks like that all the time. And I do encourage getting off the phone in the social media, but yeah.
Offer a different perspective on, I'm pretty close to your guys' age group. I'm 19. And I know there's a lot of you guys that, want to stop or want to lessen your guys' phone usage, as the phone can be pretty overwhelming. I remember when I was your guys' age not too long ago, like my phone usage used to be like 6 hours to 7 hours a day. Like it was crazy. But yeah, 6 to 7 hours a day was pretty crazy. But now I've moved it down to probably like 2.5 to 3 hours. And one thing that really helped me a lot was honestly disabling notifications only to like essential apps. For me, that's just email. For whoever's emailing me, it's usually pretty important or job related. But turning off notifications helped me so much when it comes to like checking Snapchat or TikTok or Instagram, anything like that. So I feel like nowadays we're bombarded with notifications like every second when it comes to someone typing in chat or someone screenshotting or someone doing anything. So I think if you guys really want to enjoy your summer, really be engaged with the conversations you're having, with the moments you're having with people, limiting your notifications is going to be an absolute game changer. I'd recommend that. So, yeah.
Thanks for mentioning that. I've done the same thing for myself. I said the phone should serve me and not me serving the phone, and I turned those notifications out. I purposely pick up my phone to look at it instead of having my phone barking at me. And that does help a lot. And you kind of segue into it. What are some of the good ideas and activities that you could recommend for those who do not have any plans right now for the summertime? What can they fill their time with? And that's for anybody, not just Miles.
I think I'll start off. I think, family and friends, off the rip would just be great. Just asking your friends, hey, do you want to hang out? Want to go to a park? Want to go walk around or something? That's always been pretty fun. Sioux Falls in the summer is there's a lot of outdoor activities that are free, that don't cost any money, which is what me and my friends like to do in that sense. Just being outdoors in general is just super fun. Or there's always the church community, celebrate, always here for y'all. Whether it be Wednesdays or Sundays and events within there, there's generally always something happening. So yeah, I would just say friends, family, go outside. Outside's really fun. The summer can be really, really nice. So just be outside.
I think for us, a big part of our summers, even as the kids have aged and gotten older, was staying consistent in some things and keeping routines of some things that we were able to do together, either as a family or at least a couple of us together. We would do Wednesday morning movies, even as of this last summer. We have one that's younger still, but like Century Theater's parents, I don't know if you know this, but they do $1 movies on Wednesday mornings, matinees, so that even as old as, any high schooler even can go. Those are those free, easy activities. The other thing that we've done a lot, we haven't always been perfect at it, but we've done it for many years, is we would sit down as a family sometime in April or Easter-ish, and we would come up with like a bucket list for the summer. And that allowed everybody to have speak into it. So we got less of the complaints of the, I don't want to do this, or this is boring, or because they knew that like their thing was going to get picked at some point, right? And so we would try to make it a priority to at least every couple weeks that we would go, maybe it was a drive-in movie that somebody wanted to do, or maybe it was a certain road trip, or maybe it was beach, or whatever it was. Like each person, including us as parents, got to pick something that we wanted to do, and we all did together as a family, and we would prioritize. So we knew we at least had 4 to 6 dates on the calendar that we would go do things together as a family. And they don't have to cost money. Those are outside of vacation times. So it's a good idea. Also, get out there and serve. Like during the summer is a great opportunity. I mean, it's not really a plug, it's genuine. Like it's a great opportunity to try some ways to serve other people during the summer, even if it's as simple as going for a walk and picking up garbage and then, on the walk as you walk around, or, there's a million different organizations in this town to give to. Talk to any of the leaders at Celebrate and we'll give you opportunities. And it's a great opportunity to do it and hang out with your friends, right? It's a great way to be Jesus out in the community.
So I'm going to take a pause here from asking questions and see if there are any questions from the audience. Do you guys have any question? No? Yes.
So for me and my family, we do summer jobs. It does not, most of the time they are not, it just depends on what we have planned that summer or anything else, but our girls do pay for, a lot of their stuff that they want, that they, stuff like that. So we just like to teach them the importance of working and working for what you want. So and that's not for everybody, but as for our family, we still let them have their fun and not overwork. But yeah, we do summer jobs though, just to kind of keep you still, working towards what you're wanting.
We do see a major importance in summer jobs. Yeah.
When I said activities, I mean like a club, a sport team, something like that.
Okay. So the question, I don't know if everybody could hear Carter, but yeah, there you go.
When I meant activities, I meant sports team or like a club or something, not like a family thing like you just explained.
So like a team or an activity or things like that, there is definitely value for us and our family. It has just depended on the child. For some kids, they've found, for some of our children, they have found importance in being in summer activities like sports. But for us, regardless of what it looked like, we always encourage them to not disconnect in the summer, whether that was by being in sports with others, whether that was by staying connected to the kids in their youth group through doing volleyball on, Wednesdays here or whatever day that Tuesdays, whether it was staying connected by going and hanging out at, an event or inviting them over to do s'mores at our house or having little things like that. We really encouraged our kids to stay involved even if they weren't in a summer activity, because loneliness can be a thing in the summer. It's easy to isolate during the summer. So
talking from a perspective, as I've worked since I was 14, and I worked throughout high school. I believe working through high school is like really important, and I'm super happy my parents got me into that. One thing I've started to realize, especially after high school and into college, is that a lot of entry-level jobs will require about 2 to 3 years of experience, which doesn't really sound like it makes sense. But generally, you want to have some work experience before going into like entry-level jobs into college or anything like that. Also, having money while you're going through high school, having a couple thousand or savings or having your first bank account, maybe your parents co-auth you in your first credit card. It's such an amazing feeling, and it gets you really prepared to make financial decisions in the future. It gets you in that rhythm of being semi-independent before you go into college, maybe dorms, move a state away from your parents, and just trying to like transform into an adult that way. So I think, I would encourage anyone here to get a summer job or even maybe have a job throughout high school, which is what I did. Save up your money, buy something cool, or save it up. So, yeah.
I have a question for the kids. What's a good curfew in the summer that you see, and do your parents agree?
Great question.
No, Miles, you gotta get
Miles, that's okay. Yes.
Girls first.
Okay. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, so, curfew.
Of course not.
I do not like curfews at all. Anyways, so I knew when I, like 16 below, I think I was home by like 8 o'clock. No, listen. Okay. Yeah, like 16 below, I think had to be home by 8 o'clock. I think that was the same like in the summer. Yep. But now, I think probably it's like 10:30, 11 on a weekend or summer. Now, if I'm staying out at a friend's house, that's way different, clearly. But I think if it's a weekday, I'm most likely working or here, so I don't really hang out with friends on the weekdays. But if I do, I'm home by at least 8:30 just so I can get myself ready for the end of the day and for bed and stuff like that, like showered and stuff. But if it's a weekend or in the summertime and I don't have work or anything, probably like 11 o'clock is when I'm like, okay, we need to get home. So, yeah.
Well, we kind of have the same because she's my sister, but yeah, 16 below, usually like, honestly, I think like 15 below. My mom's rule was street lights are on, you're inside, not anywhere else outside of the house. Street lights are on, you're inside in bed and stuff like that. But now, Lily's a little bit older than me, so she gets some more time, but usually my curfew's usually between 10:15 usually. Maybe 10:30 sometimes, I don't know. But Lily gets a little bit more leniency than I do.
So just to clarify here, so it just depends on where they're at. If they're in our small town of Salem, I can't sleep until they're in the house. I just can't. Even when she's at work and she don't get home to work, I just can't sleep until they're in the house. So if they're in a friend's house in Sioux Falls, that's too far from me, and I just like you in the house, whoever's house you're at a decent time. So 10, 11, I think that's fair. But yes, if on weekdays when they have school, it's a little bit earlier than probably most kids would like.
So Eric or Shelley, would you guys like to add to what they said?
I mean, we've typically had a very different perspective with our kids, and it's been more progressive. We have really approached it like if we can trust you and there's no reason for us not to trust you, then for the most part, we've kind of allowed them to lead the conversation, which honestly, it kind of sounds, that's kind of what Lily is saying, like I kind of want to be home at that time anyway. So there's a lot of that's just been a mutual respect, right? We've never, going on our third child now that is in high school age, we've never had this certain set time of this age, you're here by this point, that kind of conversation. It's been more case by case, let's talk about it and build a trust in it, because they have to learn how to make good choices, right? Like if you're getting home at 11 o'clock and you need to unwind and get up in the morning and have school and whatever else, you're going to naturally feel the consequences. And like Chase is honestly a good example of this, because Chase has a job that he has been working later. This is his third summer there now, but it overflows into the school year. And, he doesn't get home until 10:30, maybe even pushing 11 o'clock some nights. And we're okay with that as long as he knows what those boundaries are. Like, you're still going to come home, the phone is still off. All of those screens are still off. You're still going to get in bed at a certain point if we have to wake you up in the morning, if we're having a hard time getting you up, if there's back talk because you're too tired, well, then you're clearly not getting enough sleep at night. And so we're going to reevaluate how late you can work. So just some of those things so they understand it's not, I think Corey and I's biggest piece of curfews was, this isn't a dictatorship. This is a help you understand the consequences to your actions, and this is why we want you to consider this, because you're going to feel it later. And as an adult, you have to be able to make those choices. If we don't teach them that now, they're going to be 25 and in a job and making those poor choices, and then now they have to try to figure out how to make those right because they didn't learn how to discipline themselves at a younger age. So
Would like to just feel what the youth in the group thinks about the curfew. What time is reasonable for you guys? 8 o'clock? 7? 10?
High school versus junior high.
Okay. Maybe I should clarify. High school. What time is reasonable? Okay. 11? 10:30.
It's got to be 11.
Okay, so
be
we
11.
have.
It's
Go
got to be
ahead.
11 p.m. 11 p.m., yeah.
11 p.m. I agree. Okay, moving on up. So Miles, not Miles, but Eric, I'm going to go to you. Are you in favor of summer classes, not necessarily to catch up, but for those who would like to have a leg up or staying on top of their studies, not losing the knowledge, as we said?
Am I in favor of that? Anytime you're learning, I'm in favor of that. That's a good thing there.
That's why I went to you.
Yeah. To use maybe a cliche statement, knowledge is power. So if you can build on whether it's taking a course to an accelerated course for college, taking a language course, learn a little bit of German or Spanish or something like that, a woodworking course, anything like that, to build that knowledge. I'm always in favor of that. So as long as it keeps, you don't get it out of balance. Summer's a fun time to relax. High school's a fun time to enjoy what's being done in high school. Jobs are great, but keep it in balance. Keep it in balance.
So Eric is all about balance.
Can I come back to the technology mitigation?
Absolutely.
Or keeping that under control? I got to back this up by saying I work at Best Buy. I'm a service manager of my market. I like technology. I usually carry two of these things around. And not only do I like this technology, I want to sell this technology to you. So, hey, no, what do we find that was kind of a fun little thing, particularly in the summer? Burn things. Campfires, grilling. Particularly, grilling was the main thing. Campfires, we want to do s'mores. Grills, you make food. Getting the family around a table to sit down and just enjoy food, and really making that a dedicated time. And then taking the technology at the very minimum, turn the notifications off, a great thing. Put it face down. Awesome if you put it in a different room. At minimum, face down at the table and challenge yourself. Don't pick it up. Burn things, enjoy food with each other, and put the dumb things down. So again, I like this stuff a lot.
So that's an expert. He knows all about technology, but he's also acknowledging the dangers that come with technology, encouraging you guys to put it down, turn notification off, and spend time with family. Fantastic advice.
Can I underline it with scripture?
Absolutely.
We might ask, where does the Bible talk about cell phones? It doesn't. But in, I believe, the second book of John, John is saying, hey, I could write to you many great things with pen and with paper, but that our joy be complete, let's meet face to face. He was speaking of current technology, pen and paper, 2,000 odd years ago. Current technologies, these things, but for our joy to be complete, let's meet face to face. It's better to do face to face. Put them down. Again, great things, fantastic technology. Put them down and enjoy that face to face.
Great advice and wonderful way to bring our conversation to a close, unless somebody has another question. Okay.
So, as a student who graduated high school a few years ago, I am just curious for the students on the stage and the parents on the stage, how can you encourage yourself or your children to stay strong in their faith during that summertime? I think you guys talked about how a lot of people will stop going to church as they get very preoccupied with the activities that are going on in their summertime. But I'm just curious how you guys maintain strong in your faith during that time frame.
I guess I've got the mic. Don't wait till summer. Those moments in the summer where we can drift off and stuff like that, it didn't start in the summer. It started 6 months ago. It started 2 years ago. Those disciplines follow through in that. So my encouragement is don't just wait for the summer. Build those practices months before you get to them. Stay in your Bible practice. Stay in your communion with God, your communication with God. Stay in your community. Stay in the church. And then when the summer comes along, it's like, well, it's just another day. It just happens to be nice out, unlike today.
I can second that. Church doesn't come to a halt whenever they have that all the time. It's part of, it's just another days in the summertime. Even work, they can't work on Wednesdays. They can't work on Sundays. If they are needed on Sundays at work, it has to be after church. So I feel like, which you guys can speak for yourselves too, but I feel like for them, I know church camp is huge to them, so that's kind of just an already summer thing. But it is just like, I feel like it's like just another day for them. It's they're here every Wednesday. It's just, that's something they look forward to doing. Z8 nights, and if y'all haven't been, go. It's great. But yeah, so it's kind of like what you said, just it's just another day to them. So yeah, keep up just all throughout the year.
I'd say to truly, really think about the relationship you have with God, just like the relationship you'd have with your friends. So I want you to think about the relationship you have with friends at school that you don't hang out with outside of school. They're not going to be as strong as the relationships you have with your best friends that you hang out with outside of school, during the summer, during the winter, during the spring, all of that. The relationship you have with God has to be year-round, not just during school, not just during summer, not just during spring, but you really want to have that relationship 24/7, always. If a friend only asked to hang out with you during summer, wouldn't make you feel good. It'd be kind of weird. It wouldn't be a super strong relationship. So you got to have that continuous relationship year-round. Be best friends with Jesus.
Just to kind of, whoa, that's really loud. Just to kind of piggyback off of that, I don't know how other families are, but it's actually easier for our family to be more connected with the church family during the summertime because we don't have football games, we don't have marching band competitions and show choir competitions that we're not getting home until 2 o'clock Sunday morning. So it's actually a lot easier for us to get connected. But on a lighter side, I feel like we have a lot of liars in the youth group. When it was asked who is a Bieber fan, there were only 3 hands that went up. And when the songs were playing, 90% of you were singing along. So maybe we have more fans than just 3.
I will add to what you said. In my family, for example, we have a family that's very, very active, and we travel quite a bit during summertime. But we make a point, wherever we are, to meet with a group of believers, making sure that we attend church, making a point to be in church. So, Shelley, I have a special request to ask you about working on Sunday. What do you say for kids?
For kids?
Or
Well,
anyone working on Sunday?
So I can speak to our family and how this has kind of changed over the years and how we've grown and adapted. Sunday it's a non-negotiable in our family. It's something that honestly we have become very countercultural. It just feels natural to us now to be countercultural in this way. But for us, I mean, Sunday is our church and family. And you know, this is maybe 4 or 5 years ago, probably. But it started with Corey and I, and that's really my encouragement to everybody in the room is we have to model that and set the example. Corey has a part-time job that, you know, he works Monday through Friday, but sometimes he would get scheduled for his part-time job on Sunday, and it was just as events come up, and we'd always make the excuse, well, he's scheduled, and there's an event, so we got to go. And we had to sit down as parents and say, we can't expect our kids to understand the concept of Sabbath if we don't understand Sabbath ourselves. So Sunday and being around church and community, yes, there is that. Now, there's also an understanding just in general of Sabbath. I could lead into a whole other longer conversation in this, but I won't right now because we're running out of time. But Sabbath in general and just resting ourselves and modeling that to our kids of what that looks like. Modeling to our kids, modeling to ourselves that it's so important to rest our bodies, rest our mind, and fill ourselves with joy. Fill ourselves with things that fill our cup, that fill our spirit up. It's so incredibly important to get that refresh and refuel. For us to spend time together as a family, as parents, we now have 2 kids who are no longer living at home, thankfully. They're still local, so we still get to spend time with them, but it's non-negotiable that we spend time together as a family on Sundays. Since they have left the house 6-ish months ago now, I think there's been maybe once or twice that we haven't at some point spent some time together on a Sunday. It's very rare, and it's really just taken us being intentional with that. We will be together and being in church together on and holding a Sabbath rest. If I can encourage you as parents to do anything to model to your kids, it's so incredibly important.
Well, thank you so much to the wonderful panel. Why don't you guys express your gratitude and thank you. So as parting word, I will say, summer is coming. You guys are children of God. Start planning now, make good choices, and avail yourself for God to use you wherever you are. And we talked about volunteering. There's so many organizations looking for that, and that is another wonderful thing to put on your resume. So I'm going to pray, and we are going to close for tonight. Heavenly Father, we are so thankful that you are willing to meet us here and give us exactly what we need. We bless you, Father, for the youth. We bless you for life, for hope. We can see them, Father, yearning for you and reaching out for you, and we thank you for that. We ask, oh God, that as they prepare for this summer, give them to have an unforgettable summer. Meet them there, prepare the way for them. Allow for those who are looking for jobs to find one. For those who are looking for friends, to find good friends to spend the summer with. And for us parents to have the wisdom to guide them, to encourage them, and to lead the way. So protect us tonight and give us, Father, to have safe travels home. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Have a good night.